Welcome back, Miami fans. So we're going to be talking about Jaylen Wright today. I think we all saw what we saw, and obviously, Raheem Mostert, he brings a different mentality to the table. And I know a lot of people are going to say that Devon Achane is great, and I think he's great as well if you use him in the right capacity. I think with all the injuries that were happening, and obviously Jaylen Wright being a rookie, that we weren't putting him in as much as Devon Achane because of what Devon Achane did last year. But we all really have to be real with Devon Achane, and I think a lot of people aren't, that he's not a lead back. But Jaylen Wright is a bell cow type of back. We have to understand, yes, I know Devon Achane is explosive and fast, and of course I want him on the field. This team is eventually going to be a two-back team, but Jaylen Wright is basically almost as fast as Devon Achane, except he's like 30 pounds bigger. And this is why you saw what Jaylen Wright did. This is what the Miami Dolphins have to do, and this is why this breakout is going to happen. If you go to Tennessee, when we drafted Jaylen Wright, there was only Trey Benson and Jonathan Brooks that were really considered slightly better than Jaylen Wright. Jaylen Wright was going to be is going to be the steal of the draft, and the reason behind he's going to be like the Devon Achane of the draft. But in my personal opinion, I think Jaylen Wright's going to be better. So far, we've seen from Tennessee that he only got better. It was basically 85 attempts for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and then he had his sophomore year 146 for 875 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then his last year there, it was 137 yards, 137 attempts, 1,000 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Each had a yards per attempt getting better every single season. It went 4.8, 6, and then 7.4 yards per attempt. And he also is a receiving threat. We saw we saw this last game, 13 for 86. And he basically was on point with Raheem Mostert. But we have to really understand about Jaylen Wright and the ability that he brings to this team, and why I think he's actually, people might hate me saying this, but he's going to play more downs than Devon Achane. Devon Achane is much more like a receiver playing running back, and he's very explosive. And I totally understand that. But what we have to understand is people want to reference Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson was actually heavier than Devon Achane. Devon Achane's like 190. Chris Johnson was around like 210. So when we look at Jaylen Wright, the reason he's going to break out this season is because of what you saw last week. Devon Achane, when you have him in, you have to make a play with the ability to get him a little bit of a hole, because if anybody gets hands on him, he's going down. Now, in the open field, he's going to make you miss 100%. But if you grab a hand on him, he's not going anywhere. And he runs tough, I understand, but he runs tough for somebody that's small. What Jaylen Wright does, and what Raheem Mostert brought, which was something that we had been missing for a while, is if you noticed every single run by Jaylen Wright and Raheem Mostert, but mostly Jaylen Wright, when there was a person coming to tackle him, he did not try and shake him, which he will. He put his shoulder down. And what that brings to this Miami Dolphins offense, which what you saw this last Sunday, is that even when they get tackled towards the line of scrimmage or in the backfield, they are falling forward. And the reason why Jaylen Wright is going to have a breakout is because he's very similar intangibles to Devon Achane. He's very shifty. He's very fast. He runs a 4.3. But the difference is that he's like 215. And the 215, it's a significant difference, because that's what a bell cow back. Now, at the end of the day, we need it. That's why they drafted Jaylen Wright, because Devon Achane, he definitely gets injured a lot, and there's a reason for that, because you're a smaller guy. And the problem with what was happening right now, and the reason why Jaylen Wright's going to get so many more carries with Raheem Mostert, is Raheem Mostert's a little older. He tends to get injured as well. Devon Achane cannot carry the team like he was doing in the first 3 games of this season. That was the issue, is that he can't be the lead back. He has to be that gadget back that you use. Jaylen Wright, he runs forward, north and south. And That's why it's going to be incredible to watch him throughout this season, because typically, teams after the bye week, they end up implementing their second half of adjustments, which usually what that ends up being is they start assessing what's going on, who's playing well, and moving that person forward. Devon Achane got another injury after another injury in the beginning of the season. Jaylen Wright has the body build to carry this team, and what we also saw is that you can run north and south. You can run in between the tackles with Jaylen Wright, and he will get you yardage. There's a huge difference when you get hit in the backfield and that next down is 2nd and 11, 2nd and 10, versus what we saw last week, which the New England Patriots, their defense is not bad. But what we saw last week is that you get hit on the line of scrimmage and it's 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6. That's what Mostert has been doing for this team, and that's what Jaylen Wright will do better for this team, is it turns into 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6, instead of 2nd and 10, which is what we've been dealing with the entire season. And it makes the play calling so much easier for the coach and for the quarterback. And that's what Jaylen Wright brings to this team, is you bring a guy that can get you 3 yards per carry, 3-4 yards every single carry, just by moving. We even saw it in that one play when he had 3 defenders on him and he was still moving forward. I'm sorry to say this to a lot of people that love Devon Achane. I love him too. He's not going to do that. Jaylen Wright is going to be the starting running back of this team, along with Raheem Mostert. I think what you have to do with him is you have to play the lead back with Mostert and Jaylen Wright. You have to ride the hot hand. Devon Achane is going to be the gadget guy. Devon Achane will be the third down back. And like I told you in that last video, 2 backs. You have Wright and Achane. You have those guys. You have 2 backs at all the time. That's what we need to do on offense, because Jaylen Wright can much better pass protect, and he can much better move the pocket. One of the things that I saw with Jaylen Wright last week is that he's not one of those guys that's going to juke around you, shy away from contact, which is kind of what this offense needed, especially with him and Mostert. What this offense started seeming to become was this shifty, trying to get away from tackles. And this is not winning football. What he brings to the table is the guy that's not going to shy away from contact. A lot of people were calling us soft as Miami Dolphins, and what we ended up showing this last week, when you have this dude in, especially with Mostert, and I know I keep saying Mostert, but Mostert's the man, is that you become a physical football team. You become a physical football team, not a shifty gadget, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle getting open, running out of bounds type of team. You become the team that we're going to pound the ball into your guys, and then we're going to light you up down the field. We're going to be physical. And again, like I said, Devon Achane, you can't do that. You can't be physical with Devon Achane. He's a gadget guy. He's going to have, when you have nobody else, because Mostert was injured, we weren't playing Jaylen Wright that much, and Jeff Wilson was injured as well. So it was mostly Devon Achane. But when you have this guy on the field, your team now becomes physical. This is what the Baltimore Ravens do. This is what, back in the day, the Dallas Cowboys did. This is what all the big-time teams, they do, is they play physical. This is why you're trying to get this offense to be like Andy Reid's style of offense. Now, I know it's not the same, but Andy Reid, great passing and all that, but the offensive line runs the ball very physical. It's kind of similar to what Pacheco gives them, is you get this guy that now is pounding himself into the defenders and wearing them. I think it's like 91% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel that watch the videos. Honestly, guys, if you just want to help me out, if you enjoy the videos, please do me that favor, like and subscribe. It helps me know that I'm making good content for you guys. If you guys do enjoy it, please do me that favor. Just hit that subscribe button down throughout the game instead of playing these gadget plays. This is why at the end of the week, this coming week, the bye week, Jaylen Wright's going to be getting a lot more carries. So is Raheem Mostert, because it brings something different to this team. And yes, Devon Achane will be in third downs and still play a decent amount. But we need to become physical, and you can only do that by this guy being on the field. So I have a real strong sense that this is what's going to happen. Jaylen Wright's going to play a significant amount of carries, and he's going to start making this team much more physical, running between the trenches, and a lot more of the play action plays when Tua comes back. This is what we saw right now. The play action plays will now open up because you will have that guy that you have to worry about getting those 5 yards. Again, at the end of the day, you have Jaylen Wright in. It's going to be 2nd and 6, not 2nd and 12. Fins up, everybody. Love you all. Peace.